Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thank you for joining us. My name is Craig Armenti, and I would like to welcome you to the Transitioning from End-of-Life PLM Software Expert Insights and Strategies webinar. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping pointers. Please mute your microphone. We encourage you to enter questions or comments in the chat at any time. We will respond to as many as possible during the Q&A at the end of the webinar. This session is being recorded and will be available on demand on both the Wipro and Siemens websites. Our presenters today are Abusabah Vazhayil, General Manager and Global Practice Head, Product Lifecycle Management Service at Wipro Engineering, and Mandar Lele, Industry Expert in Digital Transformation from Siemens Digital Industries Software. The agenda for this session is as follows. First, we'll start with some background information regarding the PLM software market and PLM's importance to your overall business success. We'll then move into a discussion of options that you should consider when your PLM platform is transitioning to end-of-life or legacy status. This will be followed by a review of strategies for transitioning from end-of-life PLM software and actions that will help you moving forward. Finally, we will summarize the key takeaways and open the session up for Q&A. The goal is to ensure that as you transition from an end-of-life PLM platform, you're on a path to not only replace, but also significantly improve. With that, I'll hand it over to Mandar so he can kick off the session.
Hello and welcome everyone. I am Mandar Lele with Siemens Digital Industries Software. To kick off the session, let's start with some background information regarding the PLM software market and PLM's importance to your overall business success. When we look at various PLM solutions available in the market, there are several recent examples of a particular version of PLM software transitioning to end of life or legacy status. But what does that really mean? What if your PLM platform announced end of life for their software? No more updates, no more security patches, and no further technical support. Would you know how to navigate through the options to either transition to their latest PLM offering or move to another PLM platform? During this webinar, both myself and Abu will provide insights and strategies that will help you gain a deep understanding of how end-of-life software will impact your business processes. It will help you to understand the key differentiators in the PLM platform to identify the best path forward for your organization. It will help you determine the optimal approach to transitioning from end-of-life PLM platform, ensuring that you are not only replacing, but you are on path to improve your processes. And I hope you will learn how working with an experienced solution integration partner can streamline the transition and improve success. In today's digital era, a company's PLM platform is more than just a product and process data management tool. PLM forms the foundation for integrated data, processes, business platforms, and resources. Your PLM platform is critical to your overall business success, and as such, any change must be undertaken with an understanding of the advantages, disadvantages, and key differentiators of all the available options. Today's products are changing faster than ever before. New innovations and technologies are continuously driving and accelerating those changes. By embracing a digital strategy to innovate each step of your product design, manufacturing, and service, there is a real opportunity to grow your business. With each of these steps, the complexity can increase exponentially. So it is important to focus on your organization's processes for starting with an idea, how to realize it, and then improving it. Given the fact that your PLM platform is foundational to your success, how concerned should you be when your vendor announces that a particular version of software is transitioning to end of life or legacy status? Bottom line is you should be very concerned. I think everyone would agree that transitioning from end of life PLM platform should be undertaken with real sense of urgency. The time to act begins with the announcement that the platform that you are using is moving to end of life. There are operational, data, strategic, and financial implications to an end of life platform, all of which must be considered. You should also consider factors like termination of any further technical support or software updates, including bug fixes and new features affect you. Potential for significant security vulnerabilities, likely loss of business continuity, expected compatibility issues with dependent platforms, and probable loss of competitive advantage. And perhaps the most significantly, incurring both direct and indirect cost when staying with your end of life or legacy PLM platform. Now that I have provided a quick overview regarding PLM software and its importance to your overall business success, let's move into a discussion of options that you should consider when your PLM platform is transitioning to end of life or legacy status. As you begin to review your options to address the implications associated with an end of life or legacy PLM platform, the first step is to understand if you should stay with your existing vendor and move to their new platform or transition to another solution and another vendor. There are multiple facets to the decision criteria, but the one thing that should be very clear, not acting is not an option. Initially, staying with your existing vendor and moving to their new platform may seem the obvious path of least resistance. After all, the migration should be more straightforward, and hypothetically, it should take less time and involve less financial risk. However, Wipro and Siemens experience has shown that it is not always the case. What if your existing vendor's new PLM platform is significantly different from their existing platform? What if you are using an on-premise solution, but an on-premise solution is no longer being offered? What if the gaps you have in your current solution also exist in the new solution? What if moving to a different platform would allow you to improve your business processes? As you can see, the question of staying with your existing platform or transitioning to another vendor's platform is not as straightforward as you may think. As you work through these decision criteria, the more significant the changes and or lack of improvements that you uncover staying with your existing vendor platform, the more you should consider transitioning to a new platform. Ultimately, any PLM decision will be based on factors like scalability and flexibility of the new platform, integrations available with the platform, especially if those integrations improve interoperability with your upstream and downstream systems. It also depends on platform's proven track record of breadth, depth of functionality and usability. And perhaps the most importantly, since this is a PLM system, the ability for the platform to provide a single source of truth for all stakeholders. In the case of Siemens, Teamcenter PLM was recognized by Forrester Wave as having the highest possible scores in more PLM criteria than any other vendors. The Forrester Research Evaluation gave Teamcenter the highest possible scores across 23 criteria, including above par scores for vision and product roadmap, and areas like requirement management, design management, bill of material management, manufacturing process planning, digital twin, simulation, and the list goes on and on. The Forrester report also noted that Siemens has deep international experience in product lifecycle management. Every day, Teamcenter is chosen by more companies in every industry and of every size, from small engineering and manufacturing firms to the largest OEMs that lead their industries. Teamcenter leads the PLM industry with recognition and awards from analysts, media, academic institutions year after year. More of the world's most innovative products are created with Teamcenter. From the coffee machine that starts your day, to the car you drive to work, to the plane that you take to your favorite vacation destination, even the device you are looking at now or the technology behind it. From planning to development and delivery, Teamcenter supports the complete product lifecycle. Finally, Teamcenter provides the flexibility to choose from on-premise, software as a service, or combination of both, driving digital transformation your way and at your pace. Now that we have discussed the options and key criteria that you should consider when your PLM platform is moving to end of life or legacy status, let's start to look at the strategies for transitioning to a new PLM platform, along with specific actions that will help you during the process. Once the decision is made to move away from an end of life platform to a new PLM platform, the next step is to immediately begin planning the transition. You will need to determine the best path forward for your company. Here we are showing three options. The first option is to simply replace your as-is functionality in the new platform. Initially, this may appear to be the most logical and expeditious transition path. But are you missing an opportunity to fundamentally improve? The second option is to replace your as-is functionality and also expand to include additional functionality in the new platform. This could be a good option if you want to gradually transform your systems and processes. But we are seeing a third option among the leaders in the industry. They are looking at this platform change not as a cost minimization effort, but as an opportunity to transform their business processes. Rather than setting goals to simply replace some functionality, they are setting their project goals to be process improvements. Moving to a new platform allows them to connect previously separate processes, eliminating waste and errors, and significantly improving their results. The choice of where to start on your roadmap for success is entirely up to you. Keep in mind that replace and transform do not need to be mutually exclusive. When properly planned, replace can be the first step on your road to transformation. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Abu to take a closer look at the options for transitioning to a new PLM platform.
Thank you, Mandar, for an insightful introduction on why transition out of end of life PLM and what are the options available. Hello, everyone. I'm Abu, and I will guide you through how Wipro can expedite your journey to a new state of the art next generation PLM system. Mandar has covered the why part of it, and next 20 minutes I will focus on the how part of it. It's very important to have the right approach to drive PLM transformation, especially when we manage end of life PLM transition. Wipro has a very systematic and time-tested PLM displacement playbook developed over the years from our rich PLM transformation experience. So this playbook is called WIPACE, Wipro's Adaptive, Collaborative and Experience-led playbook for iterative PLM implementation. And we have successfully deployed this framework for large end-of-life PLM displacement and various transformation program across our global customers and help them for faster value realization. So this is a very comprehensive phased approach with 9 distinct phases of transformation program and which can be easily tailored based on the nature of the program. It's start with the define phase where the focus is defining the business case for end of life PLM displacement, considering the business objectives, as state, and defining the value drivers and the cost. The second step is the assessing the capabilities needed to achieve the business case. For example, assess whether the chosen PLM platform has the needed capabilities to achieve the business case. The next step is to analyze the capabilities and identify the processes needed in the application to achieve those capabilities. You can prioritize the capabilities based on the business needs as well. For example, we assess that a particular capability is needed, for example, digital twin, to achieve a particular business case. So we identify the process that is needed to implement digital twin capability in the identify phase. As a next step, we suggest developing a roadmap based on prioritized capabilities. So there are various input criteria that goes into this, including your people, process, data and technologies, as well other key strategies like infusing AI, path for maturity progression, etc. Next important phase is developing the processes from top down as well as from bottom up perspective. So we typically define 7 levels of business process to derive the atomic tasks from the business value chain component. Post the process definition comes the important task of designing, implementing those processes and migrating the legacy data and validating end-to-end processes. Please keep in mind, designing a scalable data model and architecture is very important for your future expansion plan. Once the validation is complete, then comes the deploy phase. Mandar has earlier touched upon the replace and expand approaches. So these approaches play a key role in what data must be migrated to which application and when. So this brings us the deploy step, where we need to develop a strong rollout plan. So many decisions like which business units, which sites, which product lines, global versus site specific, etc. So these are the key input for your rollout strategy. The organizational change management and training strategy will ensure the success of the deployment and assured user adoption. So this needs to be planned well in advance. So once the system is deployed and in production, then starts the evaluate and evolve phase, where we start checking on the ROI realization. We start seeking the feedback from business and focus on stabilizing the application, including incorporating the important feedback from business. Once the system is stable and start delivering values, evolve into the higher level of maturity through continuous improvements and enhancements for long-term success and faster ROI realization. So what we discussed so far is a very high-level summary of the steps involved in a PLM displacement, and as you imagine, each of these steps need meticulous planning and detailing. I hope I could give you some insight into this, and if you have any questions, we will address those in our Q&A or in the chat session. In the previous slide, we discussed about the 9-step approach for PLM displacement. While this 9-step approach provides a comprehensive framework for transition and ensure all aspects of the displacement programs are meticulously planned and executed, So this is particularly effective when dealing with complex environments that require extensive standardizations and integrations. For example, organization with the multiple large business units or different product lines or multiple legacy systems and process variants, etc. However, there are scenarios where the business demand a quicker ROI. So this could be market pressure, your competitive dynamics, etc. In such cases, all the 9-step approach may not be feasible. In such scenarios, we need to carefully identify which step can be accelerated without compromising the overall effectiveness of the transformation. So there are instances where customer has adopted industry best practice driven approach without dwelling too much into the as-is process or leveraging the industry based template driven approaches. So typically platforms like Team Center Accelerator platforms provide most of the industry specific processes as OTB features based on the industry best practice. So similarly, Wipro has industry specific templates with a pre-configured process leveraging OTB and best practice functionalities, etc., which again will accelerate the time to value for PLM displacement programs. Again, these options are available and chosen based on the individual business scenarios. With that, let me touch upon another important topic of PLM transformation, which is the key element of success. While we deploy the right playbook for transformation or end-of-life PLM displacement program, it is very important to pay attention to these key success elements. So this include selection of right platform that address your current and future needs, right scalable design, and the hosting strategy, and configuration versus tailoring versus customization strategy, right OCM strategy including your training strategy, and data migration approach and rollout plan. So these key elements and how you are approaching them often decide the success and failure of the program. So please pay utmost importance to these key factors. In the subsequent slides, I will briefly touch upon some of these topics and then we will conclude. One of the key success element of PLM program is the selection of right platform. This is an important decision that drives the whole of program success and user adoption. Based on your business case, there will be multiple considerations such as OTP capabilities, product roadmap, seamless integration across value chain, etc. So that goes into the selection of platform. This is where Siemens Accelerator platform is often preferred as the number one choice. It provides industry specific business process based on best practice, has the right connection with your upstream CAD and ALM landscape. It has seamless transition of your engineering BOM to manufacturing BOM and seamless integration with the downstream manufacturing. One of the best in class in terms of having the seamless digital thread across the product value chain, which again enable digital twin for your product, process and asset, and a closed loop product value chain, and it has the scale to address for expansion and maturity progression. Selection of such platform is prime for program success. Moving to the next slide, another key element of success is the right mapping of process to chosen platform. Having the right data model, architecture, and the key decision of configuration versus tailoring versus customization. So this is where deploying right framework, template, tools and accelerators not only help in jumpstart, it provides the predictability and assured results. Wipro over the years has invested and developed state-of-the-art framework, accelerators and tools to speed up this time to value realization. Here is few examples, and these are very specific to each phases of the transformation and bring in significant value for a flawless execution. Moving to the next key element of success, which is data migration. Having the right data migration strategy has a huge impact on successful end-of-life PLM transition. So being a transition from end-of-life PLM often comes with huge legacy data and often spread across disparate systems and its own data quality and redundancy issues. So having the right strategy of what data needs to be moved, what to be archived, when to move, and the coexistence strategy with the end-of-life PLM until complete switchover. So these are vital decisions to be thought through. So this is where Wipro's unique ready-to-use data migration framework helps in seamless data migration. So this was made possible through our strategic alliance with the product vendors like Siemens, where we developed the interoperable integration solutions for them and especially with the CAD ecosystem. So these data migration toolkits are byproducts of such integration solutions and enable a faster data migration compared to the traditional API based approach. Archiving the legacy data with on-demand access is another key aspect, which again being addressed by the toolkit that Wipro has developed. So just to summarize, an important element to pay maximum attention for the success of the program. Moving to the next and the important element of success is organizational change management, an area that need utmost focus right from your start of the program and very important for successful adoption of the new processes and systems. The whole change and adoption strategy should be focused on a persona based approach that focus on change adoption and managing any resistance to change. So this need what we call an A2E approach, basically align, enable and engage. Firstly, develop a vision for change and ensure early organizational alignment to new processes. And then policies and procedures, especially with all key stakeholders. So this is where playbook like Wipro's WIPACE and design theater approach enable early buy-in and sign off to the system in making. The second aspect is equipping and enabling the stakeholders with whatever is needed to embrace the change. Right persona-based training, personalizing the experience and substantiating with the data points on KPIs of new process and system all will help early adoption and acceptance from stakeholders. So then regular and consistent communication and messaging to inspire the stakeholders on what is in making and sharing the success stories and clearly highlighting the benefits and values being delivered and thus addressing the potential resistance areas. Of course, so this is a vast topic and I'm just limiting the briefing at very high level for the completion of the topic, but definitely need a real focus for success. Moving to the next slide, again, part of a larger change management approach is a training. Just want to call this out separately to emphasize on the importance of right persona based training to ensure adoption and program success. So your training strategy should have clear training calendar. It should have persona and role based training content. It should have real time hypercare support. We should conduct assessment and should collect feedback on usability, intuitiveness, on a periodic basis, and most importantly acting on these feedbacks are very important to achieve user confidence and adoption. Again, Wipro has a comprehensive framework for change management and training and fully aligning to these principles. So we are excited to engage in further discussions on this topic. Please reach out to us for any assistance. Moving to the next slide, let me quickly take you through a case study that resonates most of what we discussed today regarding end-of-life PLM displacement. This is from a European technology and manufacturing client who had multiple legacy end-of-life PLM, PDM type of applications. Some of them were cards and some of them were custom made. So they had different business models across diverse product portfolios they had. such as build to stock, configure to order, or engineer to order, etc. So different platforms were evaluated for target platform for end-of-life displacement, and the Team Center was chosen as target platform after meticulous evaluation. Wipro was chosen as a partner for this end-of-life displacement, and we established a tri-party collaboration model between customer, Wipro, and Siemens. A consolidated next-generation PLM platform system was established on Team Center platform with all relevant business process. This was done over multiple phases, leveraging Wipay's framework that I mentioned earlier. A seamless digital thread was established across the value chain, especially connecting upstream CAD and product configurator with the PLM and the downstream ERP and MES system. And AI-based solutions were deployed for product assortment control, enabling the customer to decide and act on what is low moving and no moving product. In line with what Mandar has spoken about why end-of-life displacement, customer was able to realize the value. For example, the sales assortment process leading to almost 30% reduction in active products and bringing in significant saving apart from the defined business case of end-of-life PLM displacement that we discussed earlier. So we continue to add value and partnering with the customer in a continued maturity progression, adding advanced features and realizing the PLM ROI for this customer. So you can refer to the details of the case study as a customer testimonial in public domain, and we have shared the link for reference. For sure, a great example of how a well thought out implementation can benefit your business. Okay, before I conclude, finally, the question is how we can move forward and how together we can achieve your PLM vision. As you all know, so Siemens is a global leader in digital PLM platform. Wipro is a global leader in providing digital transformation services. The strategic alliance between us goes a long way. The Siemens futuristic platform, Wipro's execution excellence together has delivered excellent values to our customer. So we will continue to deliver value with best of all our resources and knowledge to accomplish your PLM vision. So please reach out to us to learn more on the topic that we have covered, and we will be excited to be your partner of choice in this journey. So together we will set up a transformation office which can co-govern and co-execute to co-deliver your PLM vision.
Thanks, Mandar and Abu. Those were some great insights. We've been getting some excellent questions and comments in the chat. Before we move on to the questions and answers, we have a short video to summarize the key takeaways from this session. The video illustrates how your PLM platform is more than just a product and process data management tool. PLM forms the foundation for integrated data, processes, business platforms, and resources. Your PLM platform is critical to your overall business success, and as such, any change must be undertaken with an understanding of the advantages, disadvantages, and key differentiators of all available options.
Business challenges and industry changes come faster all the time. Demands for more personalized products. Connected smart products. High-performing, energy-efficient products. Industry disruption is constant. To keep up, people across your business need access to information to make the best product decisions. That's why today's Team Center is designed to reach the broader business beyond engineering. With unmatched usability, anyone can connect to the product information needed, anytime, anywhere, and on any device. Today's Team Center allows you to see the big picture, wherever you work in the business, in whatever job. Or you can look at only the product data you need, in the right context to get your job done. Whether you design products, purchase materials, manage deadlines, or plan for manufacturing, whatever your role is in the product lifecycle. But Teamcenter does more than connect people with the right product information. Teamcenter keeps everyone connected across ever-changing business processes, upstream and downstream, so you can quickly make more insightful decisions. When smart technologies drive more complex designs, when pricing pressures require more accurate estimates, when a substance in your product is no longer legal, or when you're responding to the next business challenge, whatever it may be, your business processes need to be flexible and agile to deal with any disruption, and Teamcenter can adapt with technology that's easy to own and low cost to maintain, so IT can spend less time on maintenance and more time finding new ways to make the most of your PLM investment. Reach across functional boundaries to connect people with product information. Reach across your business processes with PLM that adapts as the business changes, and reach higher levels of IT efficiency. With Teamcenter, you can reach greater returns.
Now on to the questions and answers. Please feel free to enter your comments or questions in the chat. If you have any additional questions or would like to request more information after the session, please feel free to reach out to Abu or Mandar directly. You can also use your camera to scan the QR codes to learn more about how Wipro and Siemens can help you transition from end-of-life PLM software. Looking at our first question, it says, my company is replacing our legacy PLM system with a new PLM system as we speak. We would like to transform to improve business processes, but we seem to be stuck just replacing the legacy functionality in the new system. Can you offer some advice that I can bring to my management on how to better use this compelling event as an opportunity to improve business processes? Mandar, do you want to take this one?
Certainly. Transition to a new product lifecycle management system is a great opportunity to not only upgrade technology, but also streamline and improve business processes. Here is some advice that you can bring to your management to leverage this transition effectively. First, define clear objectives. Establish clear goals for what you want the new PLM system to achieve beyond replicating old functionality. Focus on improved efficiency, better data management, and enhanced collaboration. Engage your stakeholders early and often. Involve key stakeholders from different departments early in the process. Their insights can help identify legacy processes that need improvement and ensure the new system meets diverse business needs. Another point is to conduct a business process review. Before implementing a new system, conduct a thorough review of existing business processes. Identify inefficiencies and areas for improvement, and design workflows that utilize new system capabilities. Focus on user experience. The adoption of new system often fails due to poor user experience. Make sure the system is intuitive and aligns with how users work, so you will reduce resistance and improve efficiency. And last I can think of is to prioritize integrations. You should ensure that the new PLM system integrates smoothly with other enterprise systems. This can enhance data sharing, reduce duplication, and improve overall business agility.
Taking a look at the questions in the chat, the next one, can you provide more details on what you mean by digital transformation as opposed to replace?
As Abu and I noted during the presentation, companies should always look at the adoption of new technology in the context of how it will bring in the value. Electronic companies have been implementing many forms of digital transformation for some time now. However, in many cases, these transformations have neither been fast enough or gone far enough. Digital transformation is a journey, not a destination. Siemens developed the 5-step framework for digital transformation maturity to guide companies as they digitize their engineering processes. Companies can use this framework to evaluate their progress towards maturity and determine the next steps in their digital journeys. Digital transformation maturity will help companies transition from document-based company to a fully digitized and optimized closed-loop enterprise.
Excellent. Moving on to the third question, it's can you provide a specific example of not just replacing, but dramatically improving? Mandar, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Let's let's take the example of an electronics company that has say 4 different systems for CAD data management, project management, requirements management, and risk management. Let's also assume their existing PLM system does not include functionality for variant management. If they take the time and effort to replace 2 of their systems, say their CAD management system and their risk management system, with a different systems containing similar functionality, then they might realize some incremental improvements. However, they are not dramatically improving. They still have 4 different systems that each require separate interfaces for collaboration, and they will still struggle with variant management. To use digital transformation to dramatically improve, why not replace the 4 separate systems with one system that not only includes the functionality of the original 4 systems, but also includes additional capabilities and has built-in functionality to accommodate variant management. In the later cases, they are truly digitally transforming to recognize the dramatic system and process improvements.
Looking at the time we have remaining, this will probably be the last question that we have time for. But again, don't worry if we didn't get to your question. We'll do our best to follow up with you after the webinar. The question is, data migration is one of the trickiest parts of digital transformation. Do Siemens and Wipro have any tools that will help in data migration?
Wipro has a proven data migration tool which they have been leveraging for 30 plus years. Unique differentiator of this solution is leveraging database to database connection approach and not through APIs and scripts. This helps in reducing any production downtime needs over the weekend migration. This helps in faster migration irrespective of whether it's an high-tech, medical, process or discrete industry. In all these industries, this tool can be used as it operates at the underlying database level and not the PLM data model layer.
And with that, we'll wrap up the webinar. Thank you everyone for your time and attention. Have a great rest of your day.